So the amazing thing here is just how quickly agents were able to track down the suspect, Cesar Sayok. Didn't take weeks or months, just days to find him.
The first package was discovered Monday in New York at the home of billionaire philanthropist and Democratic supporter George Soros. Just 4 days later, authorities made an arrest in Florida.
Just the speed that they identified and effected an arrest.
Former FBI agent Naveed Jamali was surprised how quickly they found him. He says there are several things at work.
The first part is you want to collect something that's going to tell you who this person is.
Authorities said today they caught a break. They found a fingerprint on one of the envelopes containing a device. That matched a print from the NCIC database. Sayok was in the system because of a long criminal history. But maybe even before that, signs the envelopes had been mailed from Florida with a search of a post office near Miami Thursday morning.
The second part is going to be to build that case.
This is the part we hope to learn more about. What else did authorities find to link Sayok to the devices? And was there DNA evidence from multiple people?
It's very possible that this wasn't just one fingerprint they found, but there's perhaps evidence that pointed to other people. There may have been actual fingerprints and DNA left from people that had nothing to do with this. So to be able to weed out all of that and find something that led to a very specific individual is just excellent detective work.
By process of elimination, they could narrow down their suspect list, look into where the parts might have come from, and then cross-referenced a name for a purchase history, building their case.
And the third part, of course, is to effect the arrest.
They knew who he was, where he was from, but still had to track him down in a parking lot in his van.
So the feds have charged him with sending 13 devices through the mail and are now investigating a 14th device found this morning sent to billionaire businessman Tom Steyer. Authorities say there could be more, but a senior official told NBC News that Sayok is now refusing to say just how many. He is due in court on Monday on federal charges that could land him almost 50 years in prison.